Hello everyone! In this video you'll see how I grew mustard microgreens from start to finish. I got these seeds from Todd's Seed Company. You can find them anywhere, even in the supermarket, but they are much cheaper to buy by the pound than from the supermarket. I put about an inch of soil in a 10 by 10 growing tray. The top tray with the soil has holes in it for drainage. The bottom tray doesn't have holes and acts as a catch tray. And as I always do, I marked my tray so I know what's growing in there. The first thing I do is wet the soil, so I give it a nice spray until it's saturated with water. Once the soil is nice and wet, I measure out a tablespoon of mustard seeds. Commercial microgreen growers weigh their seeds to track their costs, but I just measure out the seeds using a tablespoon. I pour the seeds into a spice shaker that has nice size holes, and use that to spread the seeds evenly over the soil. After that's done, you need one more 10 by 10 tray to cover the seeds. If you're growing other trays of microgreens, you can use those trays to stack on top of this tray. That way you save space and you don't need so many trays. If you just put an empty tray on top, then you're not putting much weight on the trays. In that case, I use glass mason jars or other filled trays on top to give it more weight. It's important for the seeds to be covered so that they have a blackout period. That's why I covered them with a tray, so that no light reaches the seeds. And also they seem to develop stronger stems when they are stacked. Here we are the day after the seeds were planted, and you can see some have already started to pop open. Some of the soil and seeds are sticking to the top tray. That's fine. I'll just put the top tray back down and let the seeds keep on sprouting. Now it's day 3, and you can see the top tray is being pushed upward by the growing microgreens. And if we uncover it, we will see that the mustard microgreens are growing very nicely. The microgreens are yellow because they've been covered, but the edges are a little green where the light has leaked in. If I had stacked these and put some weight on it, then they would all be yellow since the light would have had a hard time getting in. I'm going to leave these covered for one more day. I usually leave them covered for the first 4 days. So here we are on day 4, and it's time to leave these uncovered. You can see most of the seeds have sprouted, and they all have the beginnings of leaves forming. And now it's day 7, so it's a week since we planted these seeds, and you can see how beautiful these look. I get asked a lot how often I water the microgreens, and it really depends on how humid or dry your growing environment is. I touch the soil and see if it feels dry, and then I water. I don't water from the top anymore. I used to, but I found that bottom watering is much better for the plants since the tops and leaves don't get wet that way, and wet leaves can encourage mold to grow. So water from the bottom, we call it bottom watering, when you feel that the soil is dry. Now it's the next day, day 8, and these are really ready to be harvested. Or you can let them grow a little longer, depending on if you need them or not. If you're not going to use them right away, then it's better to just leave them growing for another day or so. They will stay fresher while they're still growing than if you harvest them and put them in a refrigerator. So at this point you can cut them as you need them. Today is day 10, and I'm ready to harvest the mustard microgreens. I like using a salad spinner to wash and dry the microgreens, so as I cut them, I toss them into the spinner's basket. Take a look at how the roots have taken over the soil. I use very little soil, as you can see, but it's enough for the microgreens. I find it's easier to cut the microgreens with a scissor and then put them straight into the strainer basket. Some people use a knife. Use whatever works for you. I only cut what I'm going to use, and I leave the rest growing. They will stay fresh in the tray for another couple of days. After I'm finished cutting what I need, I rinse it in the salad spinner and then spread it out on a paper towel to dry. The mustard microgreens add a delicious flavor with a touch of spiciness to your salads. Or put them in an omelet or sandwich. They're full of flavor. I hope you enjoyed this video on growing mustard microgreens in soil. If you have any comments or suggestions, please leave them below, and thank you for watching. Bye!